thank you again for being here. If you have the opportunity, please like, subscribe, and share with friends. This is an interactive broadcast, so your comments, your opinions, your questions, your feedback, your criticism, whatever it is, you are welcome to do it here. Also, make yourself at home. If you have the opportunity, please network, make friends. You're welcome to plug your nonprofits, your business, because again, this is a community and we are just blessed to have you here. Welcome to Gratitude Unfiltered. What's up, everybody? This is Gratitude Unfiltered. I'm your host, Joshua T. Berglund. Here's my lovely co-host for the evening.
I feel like Vanna White.
You are,
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Welcome to Gratitude Unfiltered, everybody. We are live right now inside the lobby of the Element by Westin Hotel. Can't get the music to turn off. Element by Westin Hotel in Bloomington, Minnesota. Absolutely loving my stay here. Of course, doing the show in this lobby with all this great lighting is also great, and really good Wi-Fi, and it's just kind of a blessing all the way around. But if you're ever coming to Minnesota, the Minneapolis area, and you're looking for a fantastic hotel right by the airport, right by downtown, right by all kinds of beautiful sites, all the stadiums. By the way, the stadiums here
are amazing.
Oh my gosh, the
They're
Twin
like
Stadium.
all brand new.
The Twin Stadium, the Viking Stadium. What else is down there?
There's
basketball.
The training camp one too. Which
yeah,
is
the training camp is cool. Yeah, this hotel is everything, including the airport. So it's an absolutely fantastic location. The staff here is incredible. Tonight, going to grill again, and I don't have holy jeans on, so no one can make any comments about my fly this time when I take pictures while grilling. So anyway. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, everyone that joined the program this morning and got to see me do a different version of my testimony. And then when you watched tonight, you got to see me practicing what I was going to talk about, and come to find out I didn't talk about any of that. So, Ngozi, good to see you. So good to see you. You were an amazing contributor last night. Hunt, good to see you, brother. A new friend. And Mr. Hart, good to see you. Always good to see you. So yesterday we were doing the purpose of man, and we got through like 2 sentences talking about the purpose of man. And you guys were incredible with just all of the questions, the comments, everything. So tonight we're going
to do a conversation with someone else.
You want to have a random person?
So exciting to have a third one join our party.
Right.
On screen. So I would like to encourage.
Look.
Who is that?
That's me. That's me. Yep. Wearing the same thing I had on. No, maybe not the same exact thing, but anyway. So we're going to get into it. You guys, listen, if you guys want to join, if you want to have it, we're going to do a random invite because it's Friday, and I don't know if the day really matters to do random stuff, but I'm going to put the link here in the comments. If you guys want to join the program, and join in the discussion with us. All right, so back to the 21st century man. Men have linked their identity to their roles. Now that the roles have changed, they are supposedly left with no basis for manhood as it was defined in history. The media portrays a strong man as someone with success, business, sport, aka money. I think we did this yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like you did.
We did this one yesterday. Okay, how about this? The influence of the media. The 21st century is in a struggle to find a new identity. Let us explore some of the influences that a man has to cope with while trying to find his identity and trying to prove his masculinity. Have you ever had a man try to prove his masculinity to you?
Well, I think that all men have done that.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you? What's up, man? Hey, it's good to see you. You want to come say hi? Yeah, come say hi. Come check this out. This is the fun about doing the show in the lobby. What's up? Say hello. Introduce yourself.
Oh,
yeah, we can see you.
How's it going? What do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I go by the name of Cortland Jackson, aka Loud Jackson. What's happening?
Loud Jackson. How'd you get
So
that
cute.
name?
I was just too loud singing and dancing around the house.
Do you sing?
What do you do?
Yeah, I sing and
Let's
dance.
hear it.
Just right now.
Yeah, do
He's
something
gonna
really
sing
quick,
for us
something
live.
really pretty.
Last night I saw you standing up. I started pretending that I knew you.
That's so pretty.
Do you have a social media to plug so
Yeah.
everybody can follow you?
It's easy. All you gotta do is just follow Loud Jackson. All social media.
Loud Jackson,
We're
everybody.
gonna have to make sure to do that too.
Live in the lobby. You never know what's going to happen. We're going to have circus clowns coming next. It's going to be fantastic. Man, I get a pretty
That's
voice.
so cool. Now we have entertainment at nighttime.
I know. We got to find a band.
He can sing outside. We'll get him a microphone for the party.
Yeah, in the Minneapolis area. You don't need musicians. Send them our way. We're going to have a live concert at the Element Hotel. Okay, so back to what I was saying. The influence of the media. Yeah, he has a beautiful voice. You're getting some love, man.
Yeah, people like you.
Yeah, people love your voice. You're going to have to come back on. I want to find out more about that guy. Does he work here?
Yeah.
That's the guy that works here at night? He's the overnight guy. How about that? Okay. So, the influence of the media. Let's look at the media's presentation of a man. This is going to be fun. Hollywood. You know,
So
George Clooney.
No, I was thinking like Arnold Schwarzenegger and like I don't know why it just came to mind. Like
So when
really
you-
big and buff and like big throats.
He's like 80 years old. Did she just describe masculine as big throat?
And like who was the Baywatch guy?
Hasselhoff?
Yeah, that's who I thought of too.
It's nice to know that I have to live up to David Hasselhoff
Weird standard.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger. But she didn't say Schwarzenegger. She said something else. Oh my gosh. No, we're not. We're behaving, Lisa. Thank you very much. He does have a nice voice. All right. Let's see. Hollywood, sport, money, pornography. Interesting.
That means the package, I think. That's why it, yeah.
I don't know any woman alive that looks at an adult film star that's a man and says that is my kind of man.
Nope.
I don't think that happens. So Hollywood, most movies that Hollywood produce portray a strong man as someone who can get a sexy woman in bed. You know, like James Bond. You normally have your love scene where most of the time marriage is not even though thought about, not to mention, you normally have your love scene where most of the time marriage is not even thought about, not to mention that the friendship stage is mostly not adhered to either. Secondly, if you look at the type of man who gets the sexy woman, what is sexy anyway? It is mostly the good-looking, finely gut masculine men. Although it is not wrong to exercise, men are now trying to find their identity in the gym. And we discussed this yesterday. And I think the person's drunk. The way this reads doesn't even make sense.
I feel like we don't really even need to read it. We can just make up our own interpretation on what those are. I mean, they're pretty obvious.
Okay. Well, so we talked about finding their identity in the gym. And admittedly, thank you, Ngozi.
I saw that.
But admittedly, the gym is a place for me that I have found my identity, and it's not easy.
Do you want to address that?
I don't know who Lisa is.
I don't know either.
Okay. That's cute. So back to what I was saying. Oh, it's at the gym. And so now I'm having to adjust to not, looking basically for my identity elsewhere. And it's not been able to lift. And to be honest with you, I'm still not adjusting. I'm a little bit better. My temperament's been a little bit better, but honestly, it has absolutely been tough for me because the gym has shaped my identity. So I don't disagree with this.
I think same goes for sports with sports players. When they
Athletes?
stop playing, yeah, then they don't know what to do with them.
Well, it was tough. I mean, after I got hurt playing college football, I was really depressed. I started drinking a ton, and both of them are a fraud. Hi, Lisa. I love it when people call me out live on the show. That is very nice considering you don't know anything about me to call me a fraud. I'm a open book. But thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. You're friend with Laura. All right. Third, what were we talking about? So third.
Money.
Well, Hollywood started to support the community. Together with this confusion of men asking what is happening, or man, the idea that man must be more in touch with their feminine side gets shouted on all sides by women. Okay, so I have a question. So any of you spiritual but not religious people, like, I would love to find this, because spiritual, I think the spiritual side, they talk with the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know about, no. Mm-mm.
Okay. If anyone's watching right now and you know something about the divine feminine, the balance between divine feminine and divine masculine, like, I've always been told that to find completion as a human being, you want to have the balance of both. Mm-hmm. So this is interesting. Like, is that part of Hollywood's agenda, pushing the feminization of men? Where is that the same thing as for a man getting in touch with the divine feminine? Like, if there's any experts watching, please comment on this, because I have no clue. What's up, Julie? Good to see you. Gosh, I wish I spoke Spanish, but thank you for being here, Jimena. Julie, it's good to see you. I love the person that calling me a fraud. This is so cute. I can't wait to find out who you are. And I don't know. First of all,
I feel like,
sweetheart, I don't know what to tell you. I kind of feel like I want to talk about this. I don't know why anyone, like, for instance, myself being the host of Gratitude Unfiltered, talking about the things that I get to talk about.
You would hide something?
Do you know what I talk about every day? To call me a fraud, do you think that I would make that up? Do you think I do that for my own entertainment?
Do you think we would go on TV if we had
Jody.
significant others?
Yeah. What the heck? Anyway, so she can say whatever she wants. By the way, I thank you, because these haters, where'd she go? She's a troll. I love trolls. So where'd she go? The other thing too about this, I want you to know, Lisa, the more you and your little friends come at me to say the nasty things that you're saying, that means for me that I'm moving up in the world. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, because I haven't had a troll and a hater ever. So now I got a bunch of them. This is good.
It is.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. And everyone should follow Lisa and see what she's up to. And then, of course, maybe we could have
her over.
We could, yeah. You want to come over and hang out with us? I'd love to. I know. I can't wait. I love haters. This is exciting. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Money. This is a measure of success today. Money can buy acceptance. So here, I got a question about this.
Oh, you know about that. What you've talked about when you were in Hawaii and you kind of like spent money to buy things to get people to hang out with you.
No. I was, this is true. So I was in college. I was fortunate enough to have a good job. I worked with complex disabilities. So like, you think about Christopher Reeves, the power wheelchairs with mouth control and breath control. I did that for years, and 18 years, in fact. So I was doing pretty well financially while in college. I mean, that's how I paid for my cocaine habit. Hi. We had people walk in, right? You guys couldn't see that. Oh, there you are. Yeah. So anyway, as I said, cocaine habit, we had people walk in. Anyway, so that's how I paid for all of that. But I was the only one that had jobs. So all the way through college, and even as an adult, like, I was the guy that picked up the bar tab. I bought everybody's drugs. And I did that because I was so insecure that I wanted people to love me. I wanted people to like me. And I did everything possible to change myself to fit in. And isn't it interesting that for the very first time in my life, I have friends and I have genuine people in my life that love me, and it's loving me for all of the things that I tried to hide. So yeah, I absolutely.
Because you have to find your tribe.
Well, you can't, listen, you cannot find your, thank you, Monica. I appreciate that. You can't find your tribe until you live in truth. Like, in other words, if you're living a lie and you have secrets, it's okay. Like, we're on door patrol too. It's a good thing I don't have ADD and I'm going to remember what we were talking about.
Sorry.
As I forgot.
Um.
No. So anyway, that was being myself. Oh, now I know what I was talking about. Tribe. Your truth comes, or your tribe comes when you live in truth.
Yep.
So the people in your life, if you're living a double life like I used to live, in a secretive life, those people in your life are not your tribe.
And you can outgrow your tribe too as you change.
As you evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because what's true, and the other thing too about truth, when you live your truth, you may realize in that you may get convicted of and maybe you have a certain belief in a way, and this happens all the time, like walking with Jesus. Like, and you can open the Bible and you're reading the Bible and you get convicted of something, and then you go on your merry way and you're living your life. And then all of a sudden, as your relationship with the Lord grows, all of a sudden you may get convicted of something else, and you may have to change your belief or what you thought of something. And when that happens, that can affect your tribe.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to use a political analogy, but there you go. So what's up, Peggy? Good to see you. I will not hang out with, Lisa, or whatever you call yourself, go to hell, please. This place is it for you. So I will not hang out with scammers or lying, adulterous people. Please don't send money to these scammers. This is sweet. I haven't asked for money. If you want to give to my brother's keeper or something like that, you're welcome to, but that's very sweet of you. Wow. This is so cute. Lisa, do you want to join the program? How about this? Lisa, do you have any guts at all? You can join the program and you can curse me out live. I appreciate that very much. So you're welcome, Lisa. The comments are right there. If you would like to discuss how I'm living a double life, please come on the air and let's talk about it, because I have nothing to hide. Anyway, so back to this. Pornography. The man is now stranded in trying to find his new identity with all of his influences, mingled with the confusion of what is his role. Putting everything together, what does the media say a man should be? You're a real man if you look like the Incredible Hulk. Have one or more sexy girls at your side, have a successful business, or have a run at Sportsman of the Year. With all this pressure, the woman still earns more money than you, as previously discussed. No wonder the 21st century man have an identity crisis. I keep going back to this. Like, we overcomplicate the gender role thing. Mm-hmm. I love to mop. I love to wash the dishes. I don't like to fold clothes, and I don't like to put them up. But I would mop, give me the vacuum, I'll vacuum. Like, I like doing that stuff. So, like, I don't look at that as a gender role. That doesn't make somebody a man or a woman. I love to cook. Like, I'm grilling tonight. Of course, you helped with preparing some of the food too.
I made a pasta salad.
Yes.
With all the things you don't like in them.
Right. Which olives are disgusting.
I love olives.
Anyway, but that's gender role. But for me, it goes back to leading the household. Leading the household spiritually, praying, protecting, being there for counsel. Like, I believe that if that should be the focus, and I believe if you're putting God first in every part of your life, your relationship, your work, so on, these things kind of fall into place. And again, going back to being honest and truthful, and just in sharing your truth and having communication. If you have different expectations in the relationship, maybe there are some men out there that want to be stay-at-home dads while the wife works. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that emasculates a man, especially if you're in a relationship where you're being transparent, you're being honest, you're communicating, you have that dialogue. Who cares what other people think?
They are not living your life.
You claim to be a man of God and just told me to go to hell.
I feel like you didn't say it.
Okay, listen, Lisa, here's what I actually didn't say that to you. That was somebody's comment. So if you're going to do this, be honest. Yep. Thank you. Anyway, I love it. Once you be honest with, like, real criticism. So then, what then is the true identity of the 21st century man? Men need to think in terms of purpose rather than roles. I agree with this 100% because, purpose, living in purpose, you have a vision. Like, man must have a vision. And because when a man has a vision and he's focused on his vision, everything else falls into place. But you also say no to the things that will take you out of your purpose. And as we talked about when the Kings and Queens series that I did, one of the things that we talked about is I believe it's so important to find your partner where your visions align, because then you're not going to sweat. Like if you've got a big vision, you're not going to sweat little small stuff and little things that you may or may not agree with or you don't like, or maybe it's a general, like I expect you to fold the clothes. Like, I don't know. If you expected me to fold the clothes, like we would be in a lot of trouble. So, but yeah, focus on vision and purpose, I believe, matters a ton. So first, men must adopt an entirely new way of thinking. We need to think in terms of purpose rather than roles. Roles have never been the true basis of a male's identity and purpose. That's actually pretty big. Roles have never been the true basis of a male's identity or purpose. What men really need to discover is their underlying purpose. A man's position and actions must flow out of his purpose, not the other way around. Next, we are going to explore what the purpose of the male man, MALE-MAN in general. Which purpose does every man have to fulfill and comes natural to him? If men can find their purpose, they can once again discover their true identity, not in his role as in history, but in the God-given purpose. Proverbs 19:21 is our foundational scripture in regarding to understanding God's purpose. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose that prevails. Look, we can say all day long, well, this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. I've got this vision. This is what I believe in. And that's great. But it's especially great if it's in line with God's purpose. Because remember, God's purpose for your life is the unique, individualized reason you were created in the first place. You were created to do one function. Lisa's role may be to be a troll for this show, and that's great.
Well, actually, I feel like she just needs to be educated a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like she judges, first of all, other people's lives that have nothing to do with her and for no reason. And I feel like she needs help. Like she needs someone to guide her to not casting judgment, right?
Oh, now she brought kids into it.
Okay, you listen here.
No. It's okay. Just let it go. That's cute. Bringing people's children into anything is...
That is not a good person that would talk about children. That's pretty low, Lisa.
We don't need to talk to Jessica or Lisa anymore. I'm actually going to have my friend look into you to find out what kind of dirty secrets you're hiding.
I just saw her Facebook wall, and she's got some racist stuff.
Oh, she's a racist. Yeah. Oh, we have a racist, everybody. Thank you very much, Lisa. You know what? Here's the thing. I actually know that God will deal with all of us. And that's cool because, listen, I know what that's like. I remember my former life very much. And, but that's why I have Jesus now. And that's kind of awesome. And God gets to use all of it. And listen, honestly, I want to call you all kinds of names right now. Like I want to, like I'm having to fight the rowdy side of me and just say some very ungodly, mean things to you that will damage your brain for the rest of your life. But I'm not going to do it. I'm actually going to pray for you. And I have anyone that needs to take time out of their day to harass and troll somebody, like there's a void in your heart that only Jesus can fill for you.
Well, and you know what?
And it's nothing I can say that's going to fix that. But really, I think you should honestly pray about your concerns and your worry and why you feel like you need to go about doing things this way. Because what you're saying are basically a bunch of mistruths. Well, they're not true.
The really sad part is that she is adding to the stigma of women that leave relationships that are not healthy for them, for their kids, for like their growth into learning about God, to like anything. If a woman and a man are together and it's not a happy, healthy household, then there's no reason that they should stay in it. There's proof that it damages children grow up in a healthy household. Well, by least doing that is basically saying you should stay to what, so that you don't get like put down in public.
Yeah. Listen, I've been divorced 3 times. This is kind of the part of why we talked about what we discussed last night for Voices of Hope. And, I'm not a relationship expert. We're going through this is to talk about things, to learn, because it is my belief that to be the right man to lead a family, I need to stay obedient and walk in line with what God has called me to do. And it's not always going to be pretty, and it's not always going to be ugly, or not always going to be pretty, but it's because we fall short, and sometimes bad things happen. Like you get triggered, you have somebody that's harassing you for no reason and making up lies just to troll during the show to distract a live broadcast on television and social media. And the thing is that, I'm having to inside go, I'm going to pray for you. I feel sorry for you.
I do feel sorry for her.
And because lashing out at anger and giving you that energy, that means you would own me. And the fact is, you don't. and so, my heart goes out to you. And I'm not talking about her anymore. But please just leave children out of it, because that's when things can get really, really nasty. And like I said, in the show right now, that it's then people's interest I'm taking care of. So I would just want you to know that you should be very, very careful about putting stuff out in public like that, because you don't know who's going to start looking into you and making things comfortable for you. So love and respect, leave of it. Anyway, focus. I'm free focus. Sorry. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for keeping me on track. All right. I'm really trying not to punch something. Okay. Define your worth on God's purpose for every man rather than society's roles. Again, it's like with this coronavirus stuff, there's so much misinformation, right? You can't go to Vogue magazine or Cosmopolitan and go and listen to their definition of what a man is. They're telling people to wear dresses. That is some kind of fashion. No. The kingdom principle stuff that we talk about, it's all purpose related. Why did the manufacturer create you? Who cares what other people say? It's great to have a network. It's great to have mentors. It's great to have what's I said mentor, right?
Yeah.
Coaches. All that stuff is great. But the truth is, to get the real answers, you go to God. You go to the man that designed you, the one that knows your purpose better than you do. The purpose that sees things to come. The person that gives you the visions, the person that blessed you with the gifts that you're born with. All of those things. You go to God for that. So who cares what society says? People that say, this is a prime example of some people not liking the content that's being created, for instance, right? They're saying it's a lie. There's people there's other Christians that don't like this show because they don't like what I believe that God has put on my heart to talk about. Mm-hmm. There's people that because I made bad decisions years ago, and because I have HIV or been in jail or abused drugs or any of those things. There's people that say that I have no business speaking at a church.
They want to suppress your truth.
What's the point of Jesus? Who do you think Jesus hung out with? Mm-hmm. I'm getting off track. Anyway.
No, it's good though.
Learn God's vision for their lives. We must. If you don't know your purpose, if you don't know what God's purpose for your life is, nothing else matters. That's the number one thing. That's number one. After you, of course, surrender your life to Jesus. But the one thing is you've got to know your purpose, because it alters, it changes every decision you make from here on out. But if you don't know it, it's like a fart in the wind. You don't know where it's going. Mm-hmm. Can I use that analogy?
Yeah, totally.
I used it. Okay. So to continue to live in the truth of who they were created to be. This is the answer for the 21st century male. So to summarize these statements, men need to discover their God-given identity if they are to fulfill their true purpose. Something very important to understand is that we don't create a new purpose for the 21st century man. No, we are going to discover your God-given purpose is already in you. It's not something you have to force. It's the natural because God has placed it in you. Listen, you can lose your job. You can lose family. You can have death all around you. You can, with all the chaos in the world, we can go to a new world order. We can have a one world government and a one world currency. We can have all of that stuff. But here's the one thing that no one will ever be able to take from you. And that is God's purpose for your life. There's nothing anyone can do. And when you're living in your purpose and you're aligned with God's purpose for your life, there's nothing that can touch you. God will provide because God's not going to create you to fail. It's a bad look for God. Obviously you have your part in this. You have your responsibilities, which is being obedient. But you have that, but God's going to provide for you. If you're in your purpose, if you're living your purpose, what he created you to do, your needs will be provided for. You don't have to worry. You're not playing by earthly rules. And earthly rules are, you got to get a job out of high school. You got to work through college. You need to get a degree. You need to do, all that stuff is what we've been told our whole lives is wrong. Or if you want to be a physician or something, maybe it's right. But yeah, it is right. Actually, you should go to medical school if you're going to be a physician. What am I saying?
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. And I don't want you operating on me unless if I see MD and all that stuff after it.
Maybe some photos.
And some before and after photos?
Yeah, before and after for sure.
The crucial truth tells us that we can make all the plans we want to in life, but if we don't make our plans according to the purpose for which God created us, then our plans will be in vain. If you look at the man today, it is easy to see that his plans are proved to be in vain. We may even pursue goals and engage in practices that are harmful for us. We have only one life, and we have to make that life count if we were ever to fulfill our purpose. In this journey, we will discover that purpose, therefore the key to a young man's effectiveness and happiness in life. So, the principles for finding your purpose. Then you say, let's see here, still in lockdown.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Jeanette, good to see you. You moved it. Amy, thank you for your suggestion. We moved the logo, because you can't see it on this screen, but it's moved away from the live. So thank you. God has blessed every one of us with gifts and free will. It is left to us to recognize and utilize these gifts in order to fulfill our destinies. That is really good. Ngozi, I hope I'm saying your name. We've been conditioned not to live our purpose. Absolutely. Everything is meant to separate us from our purpose. Patrick says, dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. I'm working on it because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Amen. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Be obedient. Absolutely. Hey, Jeanette, good to see you, my friend. Give you more reason than most. You are proof of God's saving lives. Yes, God absolutely changed my life. It was you guys know my testimony.
There was a good one up here. You missed.
Go
up one more.
Trust the person that wrote your story. That's really, really good. What is this?
This one. Nope.
Your show is our happy place. Oh.
Who are you to judge?
Ooh, brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Anyone who speaks against a brother or sister or judges them speaks against the law and judges it. When you judge the law, you are not keeping it, but sitting in judgment on it. There is only one lawgiver and judge, the one who is able to save and destroy. But you who are to judge your neighbor. Absolutely. Okay. Principles for finding your purpose. What time is it? 5:38. At 12 years of age, Jesus was busy with his purpose. I wish I would have found my purpose at 12. Probably saved myself a lot of trouble. Isn't that an exciting way to live? Don't give up on having a purposeful life, no matter what your age is. Get busy with the right thing. I like that. The next question you might have is probably, how did Jesus knew what his purpose was at the age of 12 already? How do we discover what is right for our lives? I guess you could ask God. I believe Jesus understood the word purpose. He understood that his Father sent him to earth to fulfill a specific purpose. I believe we first need to understand what purpose in God's eyes before we discover our purpose in our personal lives. Below are 7 principles that we will discuss in brief to understand the importance of purpose in our lives. Applying these principles in our lives will result in living successful lives in the eyes of our Father because we understand the purpose he has for us. God is the God of purpose. God created everything with the purpose. I'll just read this. God is the God of purpose. The creation that we read about in Genesis was not the real beginning. I would like to call Genesis the end result after God finished his thought process. The purpose of man didn't evolve as God started creating the creation. God finished deciding what he wanted to do, then he created it. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, he had the plan, he had the vision for it. Then, so first God predetermined, predestined, or purposed everything. Then he produced it. God created everything with a purpose. And so this includes, I don't care if you have cerebral palsy or ALS or muscular dystrophy, or you have a child that's born spina bifida. Anything, that child has a purpose. I've shared this. I have a story that I've talked about a lot on the show. It'd be the appropriate time to go over it again, but I won't. It's like every single one of you. If the fish have a purpose, if the birds have a purpose, what do you think God has for you? He gave you, like, what do you think he gave you? I just, people that don't believe, it breaks my heart when they don't believe that they have a purpose, and they literally gives a blade of grass purpose. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So since God created everything with a purpose, both males and females need to go to him if they want to know their true reason for being. If they try to change his plans or fight against them, they are in essence fighting against themselves because they're working against their own nature, the way they function best based on the manufacturing design. Moreover, because God is love, his plans embody what is best for us, so they would also be working against their own highest good.
I think that we found when we try to push against the path and try to make our own and go different directions, it just takes longer to get back, like to get where we're going. Like we always get pushed back in, like, you know, like the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to, I've shared this before, I had an opportunity to do voiceover for a cheerleading competition in college. And I had a lot of fun with this. My first time, I'd never done anything before, but they gave me the microphone and I got to MC this competition and do the announcements and stuff like that. It went really, really well. But I made the decision a few days later when I was expecting a talent scout to call me. I didn't know when, but I made the bright decision of eating acid. And one morning to go ride go-karts. Yes, I said that right. That was really happened. Well, anyway, on the way to go ride go-karts, as the acid was starting to hit me, I got a phone call, and it was the talent scout. Needless to say, I was so paranoid that I was talking out of my head because, you know, I took acid. I cut that conversation short and said, I've been drinking heavily since 8 o'clock in the morning. Can I call you back? Anyway, the point is that I had an opportunity in college to start doing what God wanted me to do. But you know what? That opportunity came and went. And it took another 8 years before I got another chance. Guess what? I screwed up that chance too. So, and then 8 years later, here I am. So the point,
it's like going around the mountain, right?
It's going around the mountain. Yeah. So like God is going to redirect you. God wants you to be on your path. So he's going to shut doors. You may get fired from a job. You may get sick. He's going to get in the way. Like, because he wants you. He created you for a reason. He's not going to let you stray too long. And when you do, and when you mess up and you get a failure, you may get a vision or a download or a dream, or you may get someone that comes up and talks to you and says, I see this for you. It's because it's God's way of steering you back to the path that he wants you to be in. That's why I believe it's one of the reasons why there's consequences for our actions when we're not obedient. There's consequences for it. You've got to deal with that. And you know what? Part of that consequence is to correct you. It's a spanking to get you back on your path. Let's see, what comments do we have here? Virginia, so good to see you. God has a plan for all of us with his plans and his purpose. What's up, Michelle? Great to see you. Okay, we're caught up there. So not every purpose is known to us because we have lost our understanding of God's original intent for us. This is where, you have something to add?
No.
Okay.
No.
This is where society, media, what the man tells us we should do. Why are we going to anyone else to guide us, to tell us the life we should live? Again, Men's Health magazine. It may have a great workout in it, but him telling you how to be a man, or it telling you to do any of that is like way off base. We go back to the manufacturer for this. So we've lost our way. With all of the conveniences that we have and all of the information that's out there, we've gotten further and further and further away from our original intent. So let's read it. When human beings as a race turned their backs on God and his ways, as we learn in Genesis 3, they ended up losing their knowledge of God's intent for themselves and for the world. Humanity has not respected the fact that God's creation and his directions for living were established for a specific reason. This is a very dangerous situation, and we may find ourselves back to square one. The first Adam moved out of his purpose that God gave him. That's going back to leading the home.
Yep.
Wow. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. People abuse things because they don't know their purposes or because they disregard those purposes. Where males and females don't know God's intentions, they end up abusing each other, even if they don't mean to. If males are going to solve their current identity crisis and fulfill their purpose as men, husbands, and fathers, they must rediscover God's plan for them. Otherwise, they will hurt those around them, even if it's unintentional. That is 100%. What's up, Kimberly? Good to see you. That's really good. So take an example of a guitar. You can use an R3 30,000 guitar for a cricket bat. You will probably not score sixes, but you will get around with a few singles. I haven't played cricket before. The value of the guitar does not change because it is used out of its original purpose. It is basically useless with no value. On the other hand, you put the guitar on stage in front of 50,000 people screaming and roaring, and they were enjoying the perfect sound coming from its strings. Suddenly, the value of the guitar is appreciated much more as to when it's used as a cricket bat.
Such a good example. That's so
It's
cool.
like me trying to play doctor. You don't want me playing doctor. And hey, what's up, Kay? Good to see you. It is not my purpose to be a therapist or a counselor. Ask anyone that, any of you that are watching that's ever come to me for any type of like counseling, it's pretty abrupt. It's pretty direct. It's just like
probably not how they teach you in school.
It's not what they teach you in school. Like, I'm not the guy to come to. I'm not going to, if anything, I make it worse for you because I'm going to go to the one thing and kind of not poke at it, but I'm
smack it.
Yeah, and it's gonna like I believe in ripping the Band-Aid off kind of guy. Like, I don't have a counselor's heart or a pastor's heart. I have a heart for people, but it's different. And so when people reach out and they want me to counsel or pastor, it's kind of like this example with using a guitar to play cricket. It's not its purpose. It's going to be a little funky. It's not going to work right. I don't have the skill. And I don't want the skill to be able to do that thing that counselors do. Go to a real counselor if that's what you need. I don't really believe in counselors, but that's another story.
Why would you not believe in counselors?
Because I have this show. I can just talk about whatever I want. This is the best therapy in the world for me.
Better for you.
Yeah, it works for me.
Probably not for a lot of people.
I would, okay, well, some people want counseling. Yes. Yeah. Okay. To discover the purpose of something, never ask the creation, ask the creator. The creator, as in God. Whenever you don't know the purpose of a thing, you are experimenting. That's what many people, especially young people, are doing with life. They experiment with, expect me to feel sorry for you. Like, I mean, I'll have compassion, but like to feel sorry and allow somebody to sit in their pity and wallow in it, no, it's never going to happen, ever. Because I believe you get to choose your feelings. You choose if you're going to be happy. You choose if you're going to let something get to you. Let the psychopath on here's comments get to me.
Stop.
Sorry, that was wrong of me. Forgive me. Yeah, so there you go. That was a choice.
No power.
It was a choice for me to engage in that, so I did surrender a little bit of power there. But that was my choice, right? So I get to live with that consequence if there is a consequence for it.
You know. I don't think there is.
No. Anyway, okay. So we find our purpose only in the mind of our maker. We need to understand the mind of our maker. How do we do this? By learning how he thinks. The only way for us to succeed is by discovering and living in the purposes of our maker, by undergoing a transformation in the way we think about ourselves based on his original intentions for us. The transformation comes about by renewal of our minds. God's way will transform your spirit, your mind, and your outlook. When you present yourself to God and learn from him, you will start to understand his purpose. Thus, the male will fulfill his purpose only when he seeks the mind of his maker with all of his heart. When God's plans unfold before him, his fragment life will become an ordinarily whole, and he can become the man he was meant to be. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, last one. Here's the other thing too. When you're living out God's and you're God's purpose for your life, if God has a purpose for you, okay, and you're living in it, so that means that God wants you to do this. Like it's him saying it's a license to ill. If you so dare, if you're so bold, license to ill. In other words, it's your get out of jail free card. Bad example. You just get to have like bold, crazy, daring faith. You get to trust. You get to trust. Yeah. Like you just get to know. It's even beyond trust. You get to know. You get to know that you can walk in faith. You can take bold leaps in faith when you're aligned with God's purpose for your life. You can risk it all. You don't again, you're not playing by earthly rules. You're not worried about the paycheck. You're not worried about what other people are going to say about you. Like, it's just the way it is. There's people that are just traditional and they just know they have a way of being because that's what their mommy and daddy told them to do. And they can't break out of that mold. And they think that this is the right way. And we choose our religions this way. We choose the education. How many of you chose a career because it's what your mommy and daddy told you to do? You were groomed to do it. Like, how many is that? Like, or how many people are out there that are like that? Like, I remember my dad being so mad that I chose football over golf. I probably should have, in all honesty, probably should have chose golf. But I did. I chose football.
I feel like I can see that working out.
What, golf?
No.
Football. Football. Oh. No, I was, it's funny because sports were always a release for me. And football, because my anger, weights are
right, but golf supposed to be quiet.
Right. So that worked everywhere but the golf course because I would hit ladies, or like I would hit into ladies with a golf ball and throw golf club at a bad shot. I was a tyrant. I was so bad to play golf with. Anyway, I don't really play anymore. Never be totally completely satisfied until you focus and live in it. You cannot do what you're supposed to do. And if you do what you're not supposed to do, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're wasting time. You're abusing your life. Stop now. God said in his word, remember your creator in the days of your youth. Ecclesiastes 12:1. I wonder what that means.
It means to, like, right now while you're young.
Well, I mean, if
to
you're
remember.
I don't know if I'm still technically young by this, but I mean,
I think you're young.
the thing
until-
is that I will tell you this: every time something bad happened, and I've shared this before, like when I was young, I would get a vision. I didn't know what it was, but it was God showing me what was possible, which I learned as an adult. But I'm wondering, remember your Creator in the days of your youth. You know, does that help you get aligned with your purpose and vision sooner? If Kimberly or who else do I trust biblically? Where'd you go? Where'd she go? Donna, you would know maybe. I forgot. Well, actually, maybe Becky, do you know? Carla, do you know? Are you still here? Ngozi, do you know? When we keep the hearth of our thoughts pure, we bring peace and be happy in life. That is said. So God didn't say, remember the universe. Remember what your friends are saying. They can give you only their opinions about what you should do. God said, remember your Creator, the one who made you. Remember him first while you're young. Why? So that the evil days won't rob your days. The evil days won't rob your days?
Yeah, so that you don't go off track and get distracted by distractions and bad stuff doesn't happen.
So one of the things too, so speaking of vision and being aligned in your vision, being aligned with God's vision, is it helps you kind of ward off distractions, but you have to be focused. If you have not written down your vision, please do it. Like, please, it changes things. Your vision and having that written, I forgot I think it's Habakkuk, the tablets of your heart, that verse. Help me, somebody, please. Name the verse. But that is so important to write it. I mean, like, I even like to write my prayers because I kind of love visionary style prayers too. And it's thanking God in advance for what you believe that he's going to do for your life or do through you. But writing your vision is a really powerful discipline. And I highly, highly recommend it to you guys if you haven't done it already. And maybe it's been a while. But in a time like this where we have some extra time, and I know a lot of places are starting to open back up again, but now is a good time to do that. I believe that we're coming into a new world, a new way of doing things, and that vision and having that intact and having that in the forefront of your mind can really, really help you. It can maybe it'll even inspire you some or motivate you to press on or to take a leap of faith. I know some of you have had some creative juices flowing based on what I've seen from your comments, and some of you are stepping up and creating your own talk shows now, or you're doing your own live stream. You're taking those steps into faith. I really believe with all my heart that God is going to bless you guys for that, because it's adding a different dimension to your relationship with God also, because God is in all things, and you're putting him first, but it doesn't mean that you can't add other dimensions to your relationship with him.
Beautiful.
I try. All right, let's go through the comments, and then we're going to wind it up. Actually, we're done. Never mind. So coming up next on the E360 television network, Misty Lane. It's her second show. I heard amazing things about it. I hope you guys got to see it last night. But again, Misty Lane's new show, second episode is coming up right after this on the E360 network that's found on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram TV, and of course, podcast audience. Thank you for your support. We will be back here tomorrow night for Word of God Church.